Hey guys, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chicken Scratch. This is the fun fold card we're making today. It opens up like this. Okay, so the following video was filmed live. Feel free to fast forward through all the talking. And if you need anything, let me know. I hope you enjoy the video. Good morning. Okay, so what is this? Wednesday, February 19th. I guess February is just about over, right? Don't forget to enter to win Chick Candy 66. That's over on my website. Today we're using Welcome Easter again. So I made these two cards previously, the last two Wednesdays. And I thought, well, I cannot neglect him. So that's what we're using today. So let me give you the supplies that we're using. So Welcome Easter stamp set. And we are using gray granite today. I chose this color because of this awesome ribbon here. I love the ribbon. Okay, so gray granite measures 5.5 by 7.5. Another piece that measures 4 3/4 by 2.5. And then some scraps for our punches. Then I've got Whisper White, 5 1/4 by 4. Another piece that measures 5 1/4 by 3. Scraps for our punch. And then a piece of thick Whisper White that is 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take this 5 1/4 by 3 piece of Whisper White cardstock, and we're going to use the Coastal Weave 3D embossing folder. So I'm just going to place it inside here. And then I'm going to get my Big Shot platform and then the blue plate. Okay, so notice there's no clear plate, just the Big Shot platform and the blue plate. And I'm going to run that through the Big Shot. We're going to use the Big Shot again in just a minute. But that part's done. Okay, we're going to take this 5.5 by 7.5 sheet of gray granite, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4, just like a traditional card. And then we're going to take the other piece of gray granite, the 4 3/4 by 2.5, and we're going to score this one at 3. Okay. I guess I forgot to say we are making a fun fold card. Okay, so I'm going to fold on the score line and then burnish it with my bone folder. So here's what we have so far. This piece is going to get added here. So I'm just going to turn that over and use my liquid glue. Okay, now this is the inside piece here. So I'm going to take these little flowers that's in the Welcome Easter stamp set, and I'm just going to stamp the little cluster right down there in the corner. And then this piece here that we scored, we're going to add that to this layer. So it's going to go like this. So I'm bringing it over. Let me get my ruler. So that is a 1/2 inch from the edge. I'm checking my sample to see if that's the same measurement. Maybe just a tad over. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to be exact. So I'm going to put adhesive on this part. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to attach that inside there, okay? So I'm just going to put liquid glue on this whole piece. Okay, that's how it's looking so far. I somehow got glue on my finger. Now we're going to take the thick Whisper White and we're going to stamp. He just makes me smile. He really reminds me of of Lammy Pie. I may have stamped that one a little too high, so I'm going to stamp him one more time just to make sure. I want to leave room for the ribbon. Okay, we're going to give that a minute to dry. We're going to take this small bloom punch and cut out one flower. Now we're going to take the greeting. So this Happy Easter is in a straight line. I don't want it in a straight line. I want to cut it out using my 1.5 inch circle punch. So we're going to be using some Post-it notes, and we're going to cover up Easter first, and we're going to ink up the Happy. I think I got it. So remove that Post-it note. Stamp. And then now I want to clean that. So I'm going to take my partial Simply Chamois. I cut this one in quarters. And I don't want it wet, because if it's wet, then the Post-it note won't stick to it. So now I'm covering up Happy, and I'm going to ink up Easter. And now we should be able to cut that out with a 1.5 inch circle punch. Okay, so we're using just the Layering Circles dies today, and we're just going to cut out a scallop circle. So I'm going to slide all my pieces over, and this time I'm sandwiching cutting plate, paper, die, and then now I'll get the big shot. Okay, let's get all of our pieces back in here. Don't want to lose this guy. I'll put it back in my pocket. Okay. This one's going to get added with liquid glue. I think I'm doing it wrong. I am. I don't want liquid glue on that. I want to pop that layer up. So I'm just going to wipe the glue off. with a scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to give it a second to dry. And we'll use the adhesive remover. I actually had someone email me about this morning. And so this is a perfect example. Let it dry and then use this to get off the residue. So we'll color him real quick, or not quick. So I'm using 3 blends. I'm using the light gray granite, the light petal pink, and the light purple posy. You can use any color you want. When I first started stamping him, I was using like a light pink, but I decided that purple would be okay as well. So I'm going to use the brush tip. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Let me show you. Where's a white piece of paper? I can use this guy. The brush tip on my marker is darker than the bullet point one or the fine tip one. Look at the difference. So I'm just going to use the brush side around. Well, I'm just going to do it. Why am I trying to explain? I'm only using the light one today. Yeah. And actually, I'm coloring his whole head because I think it looks good to have some light and some dark. Our Lammy Pie loved peanut butter sandwiches. He actually used to knock my sister over and steal her peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Growing up, we didn't really play with toys. Our toys were our animals. I may have told y'all this before, but we had like a little animal fair with one of our pigs, Susie. She was huge, huge. And we would make little traps for little things that she could go under and food would drop. And our parents were absolutely mortified that we were in that cage with that big animal. We never got hurt by any of the animals. Okay, so now we're going to color the face with the light petal pink. And I'm using let me show you the difference on this one. So here's the smaller tip, which is almost invisible. And then there's the large tip. I wonder if y'all knew that. So I'm using the smaller point. And that's why I always used to say that I use the smaller tip because I have more control over coloring. And then now I've realized I use it also because it's a lighter color. I think that's all. I think that's it on that one. And so now for the light purple posy, I'm using the smaller one. Oops. And I feel like I want to add just a little bit more of the light color to kind of connect the light and the dark, if that makes sense. Blend that a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to add that. I got a little bit of ink right down here in the corner, so I'm going to use my sand eraser. That usually removes the ink. Okay. I'm going to turn it over and add my liquid glue. You know, they really do have very poofy heads. especially when they're needing a shave. Okay, so now I'm going to take the gray granite textured weave ribbon. Ooh, I'm glad. I usually mix up my R's and W's, so that could have easily happened. It didn't, but don't ask me to say it again. Okay, so I've got too much ribbon. I don't want to waste this stuff. There we go. Not sure whose dog that is barking. Okay, so I'm just going to trim the ends. Isn't he cute? Okay, so now we're going to bend in the flower petals on this, and we're going to add, here we go. I'm going to take one of these faceted gems, place it right in the middle. Put this back in here. Okay, now where's my greeting? So remember earlier when I put liquid glue on there, I let it dry, and then now I'm just going to take this adhesive remover and go across the back, and that usually will remove, so you can kind of see it balling up. That's removing that dried adhesive. Then sometimes you can just take your fingers and run it across the back after you take the eraser over it. Okay, so now I'm going to take a dimensional. And add the greeting. Okay, so this is going to go here. And so this flower is going to go here in the corner because I wanted to tie these two pieces together. So I'm just going to turn that over and use some liquid glue. And then I'm going to take a glue dot and add the flower here in the corner. Okay, so what do you think? So it opens up like this and like this. So if you're a person that can write, that wants to write a lot, you could actually put another layer here and go to town writing. I don't write very much on my cards, usually very few words. Now this layer here, originally this layer came down to here, but I shortened it because he's not very tall. So if you have a bigger image, this layer here can extend all the way down to here. I just shortened it because I didn't need all that white space. So here's the one I made this morning. Let's see, flip it over. Yep. Super cute. So now if you look at my, the cards that I've made with this, and these are just the cards. So, you know, I've made that box also. This darling box. So I think I've shown you, that's 4 projects. I don't know if I've showed you a 5th. So I think I've showed you enough to convince you that this is a set you want to have, right? I love it. It's so fun. Okay, so I'm going to look for questions now. I'm done with making the card. Okay, I'm going to sign off now. You guys have a great day. I will be live again next Monday at 7 p.m. And I'm going to try to get this loaded today or tomorrow. We'll see. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much.